Alright, so one we're talking about today is the final blog of this course, and I'm going to be trying to deal with the question, what is media change? And so this can be dealt with in two parts. The first one is it can be defined as technology being changed just through advancements, and this naturally creates media change. The second point, which is what I want to talk about the most, so we'll move on from the first one because it's nothing really, is that media can change things. So I'd define that as media change because it can change how society acts and behaves in certain ways. An example of this would be the widespread use of smartphones now, and social media. 10, 20 years ago, no one cared what everyone was doing or thought it was necessary to tell everyone what they were having for breakfast every morning. But now, with the introduction of mobile media and social media, there's this change in people's behaviour where they feel that they need to talk about that sort of stuff. So I guess this comes under the idea of media ecologies, because through a certain technology, it conditions humans and users to act a certain way in order to fulfill the needs of that technology. So I mean, another example of this would be a video game where players are sort of led through stages and have to do certain things in order to progress, and this ultimately ends in the game being able to play out its sequences. Secondly, there's this idea that of technological determinism, in the sense that if you just let me get my notes up, and so pretty much it's the idea that developing technology allows can be followed in a predictable and traceable path, and so this isn't influenced by cultural or political features. So it's just natural progression of technology and science. And it's argued then that this in turn is something that affects society and culture, because the widespread use and acceptance of certain technologies allow different practices and habits and behaviours to happen. I mean, an example of this would be the introduction of the wireless radio, in the sense that it became another form of providing news to the masses, and it gave them something to do, a form of entertainment, in which families would sit around and listen to the radio at certain times of the day. Now this can be seen as firstly, it's not, the invention of it is not really influenced by any sort of political or cultural factor, and yet once this technology is developed and introduced into a society, it in turn is the catalyst that creates cultural, behavioural change within that society. So that's what I kind of think is the key points in what actually constitutes media change. So I think that I find that I agree with this sort of idea, and I think ultimately this is the kind of stuff that was trying to be taught to us during the course, as just trying to highlight how influential technology can be and media can be, and how it requires serious consideration and thought when for academics, when looking at the effects and influences of certain pieces of technology. Yeah, I'm done now.